Yep, I do remember being a teenager. For the record, I am 21 now, and I do not wish to go back, not one bit. I remember the feeling, trying to be the main character, but you're not the main character in your own story. You're not the main character in anybody's story. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I go by the name of Jones, and I'm a self-improvement YouTuber. And today, we'll be talking about things you should be doing if you are under the age of 18. Now, here's something that actually did make my teenage years slightly better. They actually made it worth living, right? I found a way to actually define my aura. I found a way to build up my confidence to a place where nobody else had confidence like mine. And people would always wonder, why is he so confident? Some would actually call it cocky, right? Because I radiated at a frequency higher than everybody else around me. The main thing I did to define my aura, to build up my confidence, was play a sport. Started off with football, wasn't very good. That actually took my aura to the negatives. And then I stumbled upon martial arts. I can't even begin to explain it in words. I can't even put that feeling in words, if we're being honest. I remember just walking into the room, looking at everyone like, yep, I can take him. Him, I could take him. I'd even look at the teacher at times and be like, I could take him. I was sparring a nigga as big as that last time, so easy. For me, that's easy. I could definitely take him. Right, the kind of aura I had was unmatched. I don't recall anyone else having aura like mine, if we're being honest. And people would always wonder, why is he so arrogant? Why is he so cocky? But to me, that was mere confidence. I wasn't even trying to be confident. I wasn't even trying to be cocky. I just radiated at that frequency once I started having martial arts as a sport, as a weapon in my itinerary, as a weapon in my arsenal. It was just something I had with me. So that's the number one thing I would recommend to you as a young man. If you're under the age of 18, picking up a sport would be the first thing I would do if I was you. Right after that is I'd become really, really good at the sport. That's one thing that's going to give you aura like no other. Going to make sure you really want to be really good at the sport. If it's martial arts, you're going to want to thrive to be the best at it. You're going to sleep, breathe, eat martial arts. Train as hard as you can. Put in the extra hours, put in the extra days. And yeah, the aura points you get from that are just unreal. Completely unreal. The confidence training of martial arts give you is just unmatched. That's one thing I can tell you for sure. Right? If you're feeling like you walk into the room and you feel a bit intimidated, or you like pass by people and you're feeling a bit intimidated, you can't. Matter of fact, this even helped me with talking to girls. I'll tell you that. Because the worst case scenario is she curves me and I'll be like, alright, cool. I don't even care. I don't even care. Because last night when I was training, I almost died. But I'm still here. Rejection, it won't do much to me at this point, isn't it? And that's just the truth about it, really. Talking to people became a lot easier. Holding eye contact became a lot easier, mainly because of the martial arts term Zen. It's called Zen when you're just in a flow state, and I could just tap in and out of flow state whenever I needed to. You do want to make sure that you pick up a sport, and after picking up a sport, make sure you become really good at it. Put in the extra hours. Try and devote as much time as you possibly can to becoming really, really good at that sport. If you don't want it to be martial arts, that's fine. But the one thing I can say about you training martial arts is you will have aura like no other. Because you just walk into a room and all that social anxiety, it doesn't exist to you anymore. Because you just look at people and you're like, nah, nobody could take me. I could take on Everybody here. And you're not even exaggerating. That's the crazy part. So yeah, that's the first thing. If you want to play football, basketball, baseball, whatever you want to play, just make sure you do become the best at it. And devote as much time as you can to it. That's how you become the best at it. Right? And the second thing I would like to tell you, if you're under the age of 18, one thing I actually did right was stay cautious of the friendships you make. Stay cautious of the people around you. The old saying, you become the sum of the 5 people you hang around. It is actually true to a degree. You surround yourself with people that are always out partying, doing degenerate things. You will become a degenerate yourself eventually, even if you just say, no, they're just my friends. You can only have self-control to a certain degree. So I'd highly recommend you stay cautious of your company, stay cautious of the people around you. They can either make or break you. You really want to stay cautious of the company around you, of the people around you. And yeah, you do not want to mess this one thing up. I've seen a lot of people throw away their potential just because of friends they had. I had this one friend in high school that was just talented when it came to football. This guy, he didn't even need to practice much. I never saw him practice. I never had him say, I'm going to practice. But he was a baller, man. He could dribble past 5 people like they weren't even there. It's just, it was crazy. But he didn't take his talent seriously, and he just threw it all away. And yeah, now he's just, I don't even know where he is. I should check up on it maybe, but he could have been something. He really could have been something. So you really want to stay cautious of that. The third thing you might want to do if you're a teenager, you're in high school, is build effective habits. I'll give you a few core habits that I built when I was younger that actually carry me to this day. Number one was waking up early. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. And then the second one, which was really helpful in curving into sculpting my identity, was working out every single day. So like I said, I did martial arts, eventually got into bodybuilding, but yeah, working out every day, making being an athlete a part of my identity was just really, really, really helpful for me. I can't emphasize how helpful that is for me. Because to this day, I don't consider going to the gym a chore. It's harder for me to stay out of the gym. Matter of fact, if I skip a gym day, I just slack out. I don't perform to the level that I'm supposed to. I don't have it in me to become who I'm supposed to be if I skip a gym day. I feel bad. I feel guilty for skipping a gym day. It's like I did myself a disservice, which is something I'm really grateful for. All right, so yeah, you do want to make sure that you do get in the gym. So number one, wake up early. Try and wake up. It doesn't have to be too early. Try and wake up around 5, 6. The main reason is if you are a teenager, you do need the hours of sleep. So 5, 6 is a good spot. Try and get at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep and schedule out your day so you can actually get those hours in. Don't freestyle your sleep routine. So number one, wake up early. Number two, go into the gym. Very effective. You want to build that habit while you're young and keep it with you for the rest of your life. To this day, I still work out. Number three, you want to build your intelligence. You want to build how intelligent you are. You want to build your book smart. You want to build how smart you are when it comes to academia. Figure out how to study. Figure out how you study. Figure out what exactly makes you study more. When you pass out, when you guess out, when is the best time for you to study. So, and number four would be taking care of your mental health. You want to figure out in what state do you perform the best. At what time can you actually perform and produce the best results mentally when it comes to stuff that you actually want to do. You know, when you're young, you might figure that, look, you have a talent or you have a passion for coding, you like coding. So yeah, you might want to figure out what what best time is it for you to code? What's the best time for you to actually start coding in the morning to learn? When is your best learning time? Number one, and when is your best time to actually deliver results? When is your best time to actually take action and implement what you've learned? Two different things, two different parts of the brain that you're putting into action at that point in time. So you do want to make sure you have that down to a T. If you learn best at night and you execute best in the morning, might want to wake up a bit earlier, study at night, and execute in the morning. Two separate functions, two separate things that you do want to make sure you have in check. And also with mental health and intelligence, what you do want to make sure is you read books, read psychology books, read business books, be as knowledgeable as humanly possible. At this young age, you do want to make sure that you have an advantage when you get into the adult world. You don't want to be the person that gets into the adult world and you slacking behind. You don't have any mental health, you don't have any intellect, you can't have any intellectual conversations. You want to make sure you're not slacking on your intellect, right? So number one, make sure you wake up early. Number two, go to the gym. Number three, don't slack on your intellect. Number four, stay cautious of your mental health. Number five, try and improve your emotional intelligence. Find out what are your triggers. What makes you, what's the word I'm looking for? Figure out what makes you tick. Figure out what makes you have random outbursts at people. And you want to cut that to a minimal, to be as little as possible. Try and make sure that you don't let anger, frustration, depression stick into your head. You want to figure out how to get out of that rut as quick as humanly possible. Let's see if I can. So I'll make a separate video on this, because if I go on about it now, this video might as well be 10 hours long, and it's not the purpose of this video, right? So yeah, if you do want to figure out more about emotional intelligence, I will be making a video on that. Just stay tuned. So do not slack on your emotional intelligence. Number five. And lastly, figure out, you want to have hobbies that make you creative. It might be playing the guitar, might be art, content creation, coding, whatever helps you be creative, right? Those are some habits I would say you need to have when you're younger. The one thing I wish I understood when I was younger, this is one skill I did not have besides going to the gym. The only thing I was consistent with was working out when I was younger, which is, yeah, that's the only thing I was consistent with when I was younger, working out. But besides that, I did not understand the power of consistency. Here's the interesting thing about consistency, right? You might work and actually not realize that you're working. You might not realize the results. You might not see the results of you working until one day you just realize that you're 10, 20, 30 steps ahead of people. It's exponential. It's very exponential. It's not linear growth, it's exponential growth. So the rate at which you move, they do look like little steps, but in the long run, it's almost like you just left everybody and you just escaped the rat race. And it's crazy because the thing with consistency is the moment you start to love consistency, you're consistent with everything that you want to do. You just move like crazy the moment you reach a certain point, because it might look like this. So day 1, day 2, day 3, even day 60, you like this. The moment you touch day 60, you might just exponentially grow to a point where you didn't even imagine possible. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but if it doesn't, you might leave a comment and I'll explain further on that as well. The one thing I love about consistency is it helps you build resilience. It helps you get out of a rut. So if you're consistent with certain habits, if you're in a bad place mentally or emotionally, you can always go ahead and do your consistent habits. The habits you're consistent with, you can always do them in a rut, bad mental space, bad emotional health. You can still do your consistent habits, and that will build resiliency in turn. So, as an overview, that's just it for today. If I was under the age of 18, those are some things I wish I was told when I was younger. And that's it for today. Stay winning.